All right, welcome back. Let's get more on one of your top stories, and that is Apple. On the heels of last night's fiscal third quarter earnings, iPod sales surging again to a record, and Mac computer shipments hitting a 5-year high. Let's talk more about the quarter that was and the quarter that will be with Nitin Gupta, analyst with the Yankee Group, coming to us from Boston this morning. Nitin, overall, were you pleased with Apple's quarter?
Yeah, it was, especially with the iPod shipments. I think they exceeded most analysts' expectations by around 1 million units. I would have liked to see a bit stronger Mac sales. It was an all-time high, but there's been not a lot of growth from the last two previous quarters.
Do you think the so-called halo effect, where people buy an iPod and then migrate to other Apple products, is working?
I think it is. But I've said this before when I've been on Bloomberg. I think it could work better if Apple would put some marketing behind not just the iPod, but also the Mac computers.
Do you think they'll do that?
That was actually, the question was posed in the earnings call, and they said that they believe in the halo effect, and they think that by marketing the iPod heavily, the halo effect will take care of marketing the Mac. So it doesn't seem like they are going to. No.
At what point, if at all, do you believe that the iPod market will become saturated? We did a preview yesterday where we talked about some analysts, many analysts, saying they thought the iPod market was going to, or iPod sales would rather slow down. We didn't see that, but if and when do you believe that will happen?
I think the installed base will see flattening out around 2009, but even with the installed base flattening out, this type of iPods, many people buy multiple iPods, and it's a device which gets replaced fairly often, every year, 2 years, or 3 years. So with these replacement cycles, I see shipments increasing into 2010.
The average selling price of an iPod fell from $191 to $179. That may be reflected because of the $99 and $129 Apple iPod Shuffle. Are you concerned about the decline in the average selling price, or do you think that the margins are going to remain pretty much the same no matter what you actually pay in terms of revenue?
I think the margins will not fall aggressively, but the margins will fall, the retail prices will fall. With any new type of technology-based product category, as the component pricing falls, the whole product category pricing is going to fall. So I think it did have to do a lot with the Shuffle, the low-price Shuffle, but also the higher capacity drives and iPods. I think those prices will continue to fall as well.
You know, in the conference call last night, also Apple officials expressed a little bit of concern about that move, that highly publicized move to Intel processors in the next year or so, and what that might do to sales. How concerned are you, if at all?
I think there's definitely room for concern there, something that should be monitored. The sales this quarter weren't too bad. I wasn't too concerned now. I think the really telling quarters are going to be the back-to-school quarter for next quarter and the holiday quarter. If there isn't substantial increases from this quarter in units shipped, I think it might be as a result of consumers waiting for the Intel machines to come out.
What is your biggest concern surrounding Apple right now?
My biggest concern right now is the effect of mobile music phones on iPod shipments in the long term. I think in the next 2 years, we're not going to see a major impact, but getting into 2008, 2009, as these mobile music phones and the adjacent services mature, I think there is the potential for cutting into digital audio player sales, and as a result into iPod sales.
Well, tech conspiracy theorists have long argued that maybe Apple and some other companies like Motorola might be ready to come up with an iPod phone. Do you think we will ever see that?
Yeah, I think we will. And I don't think it'll be too long. It has been challenging for Apple to buy. Well, it's been speculated Apple's been having trouble finding a mobile network operator to put out the phone, because the mobile network operators, they have their own plans for mobile music, and they're looking to generate revenue from that in different ways than Apple is. Apple's more looking to put out a phone which lets them transfer songs from their PC, and of course mobile network operators would rather use their networks to transfer songs.
But you do think we will eventually see some sort of an iPod phone?
I do. I think at least one of the mobile network operators will bring out the phone. The exact arrangements are yet to be seen. There's been some speculation around Apple maybe becoming a MVNO, a mobile virtual network operator, where they buy buckets of minutes from one of the carriers and resell their own devices. Something Disney's doing, ESPN's doing, yeah. So there's a number of companies doing that.
All right, Nitin Gupta, analyst at the Yankee Group. Nitin, we appreciate your time earlier this morning. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, coming up, so far this week, we've talked about small caps, mid caps, and even micro cap stock picks. Well, today we're getting big. We're going to do mega cap stock picks as part of our special weekly series.